Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. So silver prices are starting to rise again. Now, why is this? We saw silver extremely low over the past week, and now there seems to be a recovery in prices, and I'm going to be explaining why this is happening in this video. The link will be in the description to this article if you want to check it out, but it's talking about Saudi Arabia having an oil field attack from drones, and this is pushing people towards precious metals. I'm going to explain all the details, so make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. So let's jump into this article. So gold boosted by a traditional safe haven bid. Now, news that Saudi oil fields have been attacked by drones on Saturday, with Iran being heavily implicated, sent gold higher at the start of the week and back above $1,500 an ounce. Gold's safe haven appeal saw buyers return after President Trump warned Iran, who the U.S. blamed for the attack, that were locked and loaded, while Iran warned the U.S. they were ready for a full-fledged war. Tensions in the region were already high over the collapse of the Tehran nuclear deal, and this recent attack is likely to keep gold bid in the short-term, medium term. So, short to medium term, by the way. And this is interesting because, once again, from the flip of a switch, from the snap of a finger, something can set precious metals off to start appreciating again. We saw the U.S.-China trade wars boosting it from, a couple months ago. That's what sparked this whole gold and silver rise, and then also led from stock market volatility, Fed rate cuts, which are going to be 1 to 3 happening more throughout the week. And now we have this as well. So anytime precious metals is in an interesting situation, to say the least, or a very complex situation with many influencing factors at bay, you never know what's going to happen. And that's what I kept telling everyone when prices were down to that low $17 range, was by tomorrow something could happen, and it can highly influence prices. And this is exactly what we're seeing. So having traded around $1,512 an ounce, the precious metal has dipped back down to $1,504 an ounce and should remain bid around these levels going into the week's main event, the FOMC meeting this Wednesday. The Fed is fully expected to cut interest rates again by 25 basis points, and the post-FOMC press conference will see the central bank give further clues to the strength of the U.S. economy, which I mentioned previously a couple seconds ago. This is also what people are going to be looking forward to, which will heavily be influencing silver's price. So really interesting times for precious metals. I wouldn't say it would be smarter to be buying your or selling your gold and silver right now. I would definitely, if you want one last purchase, I made a video earlier today talking about this actually. And right now, before precious metals start to rise again, because silver's at $18, you would probably be better off purchasing right now before prices start rising, especially if you missed out over the last couple of days. Once it was in the low 17s, this is your last chance, because more than likely prices are going to be rising again. And especially if you're one of those people that bought at that $19.50 range, you don't want to be having your dollar per cost that high, so you can lower it by purchasing it around this price, because who knows where it's going to head, especially after the FOMC meeting with Fed rates getting cut. So gold is likely to retest recent highs between $1,515 an ounce and $1,528 an ounce ahead of the Fed, but is unlikely to break higher until Fed Chair Powell has spoken. To the downside, there is strong support around $1,484, and it's unlikely to come under pressure if U.S.-Iran tensions remain, which is definitely true. So right now they're saying that gold's price is probably going to stay stagnant, including silver's price. And actually, interestingly enough, gold is actually outperforming silver right now. But obviously, we all know, at least the silver stackers know, that silver usually is a more gradual approaching metal, and it usually catches up to gold after a couple days or a couple weeks. So I'm not too worried about that. But they're saying that gold and silver prices are going to stay stagnant right now until the Federal Reserve, speak about what the rate cuts are, or to what extent. And there's also gold is holding against these support lines, meaning it can't go under a certain line. Resistance levels means it has to go above certain lines to be looking towards or indicating higher or lower prices. And it's unlikely to come under pressure if U.S.-Iran tensions remain, which it seems like they're going to remain. They threatened war, and President Trump is obviously, not turning down anything as well. So this is definitely going to keep tension in the air, resulting people to invest in the precious metals. So here's the gold daily price chart for September 16th, which is today. So you can see this gradual movement upwards right here, and here is the support line, and then the resistance would be up here. So it has to stay above this line, and for higher prices, it has to resist against this. I'm gonna go over the silver side of it now. So silver turns higher. Silver followed gold higher at the open and looks to reclaim $18 an ounce in the short term before the September 12 high at $18.47 an ounce comes into view. To the downside, $17.42, $17.52 area should provide a decent level of support, which I was mentioning in the videos this weekend when I was talking about silver's price lowering and where support is. The gold to silver ratio is currently 84, so it has gone up. It was 82 last week, like this article just says. I was making a couple videos on the 82-to-1 ratio, but right now it is going back up, which means that silver is not performing as well as gold is. So here is the chart for silver. As we see, the support line is right there. It's really tiny, so I can't see it, but it's around $17.42. And then the resistance line is up here. It's probably around the $19 range. So yeah, so it's interesting right now to see where precious metals are headed. There's a lot of things going on. Like I mentioned, the oil fields are being attacked by drones said to be from US. They are threatening, well, Iran is threatening war, and they said that they are ready for a fully fledged war. And President Trump said we're locked and loaded, which is definitely some highly threatening things that are going to keep people a little scared, not even a little scared, a lot scared. I mean, if the US-China trade wars were scary, this is something that's much more serious if they're threatening war. Also, we have the FOMC meeting talking about a 25 basis point cut from interest rates, which is going to also be something that will influence precious metals more than likely for the better. So a lot of different things are happening. This is definitely interesting times for precious metals. There's so much going on. For a couple months there, things were pretty stagnant. There wasn't too much news. It was in a bear market, but now you can see the result from volatility, but also not even from volatility. Volatility is more from the end result. That's what the consequence is from everything happening. So when all this stuff is happening, it's really putting fear in the air, putting a lot of confusion, misconceptions, misleading people, just a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes, and it really does drive people to feel a little skittish. And when they feel like this, they're going to be investing into precious metals. That's what I would do. That's what everyone else does. That's why people came in from stock market volatility into the world of precious metals. And this is why every time something's happening that's tragic or they're weary in the economy, they turn towards precious metals because it is the perfect safe haven asset to invest in to protect your wealth against who knows what, whether it's the government collapsing, banks falling, or whatever the case is. So I know that it's very extreme measures, but this is the world we live in, and this is the reality that's going on. And that's also why I want to inform you guys with this stuff. I have to do my job, inform you guys on the day-to-day basis what's happening in the world of precious metals, what's going on behind the scenes, and where my opinion on where precious metals or the prices are headed. And that's why I try to make these videos on a daily basis for you guys. That's why I post daily videos. I try to also switch it up and talk about some other things as well. I have another video idea today I'm going to talk about a little later, so stay tuned for that as well. But I really am curious on what you guys think about this. Do you guys think these interest rates cuts on Wednesday from the FOMC meeting is going to highly be influencing silver's price, and also to what degree? We saw last week or a couple weeks ago it did highly influence prices from both fields, and also when the US-China trade wars were being recovered or being resolved, being negotiated, when they did start trading soybeans and a couple other things, precious metals prices fell because this was resolving people's fear. They're feeling somewhat at ease to some extent. So now all this ease, all this tension is getting heavier and heftier again, resulting in these prices. So it's really interesting. It looks like it's a pinball match just going back and forth, and no one really can tell where precious metals are headed for the short term, but I definitely see the bigger picture. And over the next couple months, I definitely see gold and silver dramatically rising, especially with all this stuff going on. Usually I wouldn't say that. I'm more of a conservative type of price when I try to talk about prices, but with all this stuff happening, there's no way that we're not going to see dramatic changes in prices. That's just how I look at it. If there would be nothing going on, if everything was smooth sailing, I wouldn't be talking about high 19, possibly even $25 silver by Thanksgiving. But with stuff like this going on, with all the stuff happening, there's definitely no doubt in my mind that silver could be $25 by Thanksgiving, which is coming up extremely soon. So I definitely think right now would be your best shot to buy silver one last time as it's low, and also take advantage of those deals coming out around the holidays. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, the link will be in the description if you want to check it out yourself, look at all the charts and stuff. I try to go through the articles somewhat fast to keep the videos at a timely manner, so I try to highlight the main stuff. But if you want to go back and look at all the other stuff, the link will be in the description. But I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Make sure you like this video. Liking these videos spreads the news, spreads the silver stuff that's happening in the precious metals world. I do appreciate it a lot. Also, subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.